All right, I have a couple of minutes after the hour, so I believe we probably are going to end up with a few more people joining us, but let's go ahead and get started to respect everybody's time. Good morning for those of you for whom it's still morning, and good afternoon for everybody else. My name is Bola King-Rushing. I am Associate Vice President of Caring Campus here at IEBC, the Institute for Evidence-Based Change. And today we're going to talk about why one would send your people to the Caring Campus Academy, what it's all about. And we've got a couple of special guests here to explain their past experiences with it from last year. So with that, we'll get started. There we go. Whoops, that's the wrong. Oh, okay. So today, really what we're just going to do is I will introduce get everything started and explain what the Academy actually is. But then I want as quickly as possible to get to our special guests who are, excuse me, who, as I said, are past participants in the Academy, and they will share what their experiences were. And then we'll have a Q&A session after they're finished answering my questions. And hopefully that will be a great way to spend our little hour together. So if you're familiar, hopefully everyone here is familiar with Caring Campus. One of the new programs to support our caring campuses across the country that we started last year is this Caring Campus Academy. It's a short course. It's been updated. So this year it's going to be 5 sessions for staff or 4 sessions for faculty, where the faculty sessions are a little bit longer. But it's a virtual course over a series of sessions that is designed to introduce or refresh people with regard to the behavioral commitments involved in the Caring Campus implementation. These courses are led by one of our coaches or facilitators. I had the joy of doing that once last year. It was a lot of fun. And we saw people attending from all across the country, actually. It was really, really cool. So the idea is every session focuses on 1 or 2 of the relevant commitments. And then we actually send you home with a little bit of homework just to get a little bit more in depth about what that particular commitment is, how it's actually being implemented on your campus, and getting you connected with whatever version of the Caring Campus program is existing already at your institution. When we started out, we were sort of pushing this toward new hires, folks who had come onto campus after Caring Campus had been implemented on that particular institution. But we quickly realized that because the program is always evolving, it is of value pretty much to anyone. So we are now starting to see and are inviting folks who even predate a Caring Campus coaching session, original coaching sessions, to come and hear about the innovations, the new versions of the commitments, and so on, to make sure that they stay up to date and to keep their colleagues at their own colleges and universities up to date as well. I say colleges and universities, some of you may not have heard, but as of last year, we have started working with universities as well as community colleges. So we are very excited to be growing in that way as well. So with that, I am going to have our 2 speakers introduce themselves just a little bit, and then we'll get going. Let's start with Hannah. Have a couple words to say, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Mock. I work at the Epicenter at Santa Monica College in Santa Monica, California. That stands for Equity Minded Professional Innovation Center. Yeah, thanks for inviting me to be here today. I'm not sure if you want me to talk a little bit about my experience now, or if we're going to wait on that a little bit.
We'll get into that in just a little bit.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And Mary, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Johannesson Schmidt. I'm at Oakton College, which is a 2-year college outside Chicago. Happy to be here with you all. I am a faculty member in psychology, but for right now, the majority of my load is reassigned to be our coordinator for the Center for Teaching Innovation. So I help support faculty in developing their own teaching. Glad to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And I should mention that both of our special guests represent implementations of Caring Campus that have really gone a long way. They are some of our earlier and long-standing Caring Campuses. And the epicenter, as I understand it, over at Santa Monica College is the home for the Caring Campus program and is directly related to that. And similarly at Oakton College, which back when we were working with you all was Oakton Community College, the program got renamed the Persistence Project when it started off with faculty, and it was specifically about helping students persist from term to term, which there has been, as I understand it, great success. So with that, I would like to let's just go ahead and jump into it, shall we? The first thing I'd like to know from each of you is what brought you into the Caring Campus Academy last year? How did you hear about it, and what got you into to decide to sign up? Let's start with Hannah, please.
Thank you. So I wasn't a part of the original group who brought Caring Campus to SMC, but I joined shortly after, even though I hadn't been officially trained. So I got kind of this unofficial training from the core members that we already had at SMC. And, I was doing the work with them, and then this opportunity came about. And so I figured I would go and strengthen my foundation. So that's why I decided to do the Caring Campus Academy last semester.
Excellent. Who'd you hear about it from?
My boss. Yeah, the vice president of HR. I think, it came down from the president's office. The IEBC reached out to SMC, and then, it was like, hey, there's this opportunity. So I participated, and one other member who was actually also a part of the Caring Campus more recently joined, Carla Brown, was able to be a part of Caring Campus Academy last semester as well.
Excellent. Excuse me. That's awesome. What about you, Mary? How'd you get started with the Academy?
Yeah, I feel like I have a similar story to Hannah. So I wasn't a part of the initial rollout when Caring Campus came first to faculty and then staff at Oakton. But early last fall, there was a general email to all faculty regarding the opportunity to participate in the academy that came from our associate vice president for academic affairs. So I did respond to that general email. A number of us did, but I don't know whether some folks were also given like a one-to-one outreach. I know from my own recruiting, that's often a really powerful way to get folks involved, but having that one-to-one connection works as well.
Excellent. Well, that's awesome. So of course you all signed up and you went through. It was a 5-week course both times last year, I believe. Is that correct? We hadn't changed the faculty 1 to 4. So, what was your experience? And we'll start with you, Mary, this time. Being in the academy, what was it like? How did you feel about it?
So it was synchronous online. So just to be clear, it was that we had live Zoom sessions where we were meeting together. Some of the participants in the academy were fellow faculty here from Oakton, but we also had members in our cohort from across the country. So that was nice to both have an Oakton-based cohort and folks that had similar students, as well as hear about the lived experience of folks in other states and other institutions. So that was really nice. I appreciated that it was something that was carved out every 2 weeks on my calendar. So many of us are pulled in so many different ways. So having that dedicated time to really focus in on what does Caring Campus mean as it applies to my work with my students was really helpful. And we just, as you said, we broke it down. Each week, we talked about 2 behavioral commitments, talked about what that might look like already in our class, and learned from others how we might expand our practice. And then having that homework was really helpful to just hold us accountable and make us think, all right, now how do I really want to foster this commitment? How do I want to expand my practice in this area? So it was a good experience.
Awesome. And I'll clarify for our audience, just in case some folks might not be familiar. Caring Campus for faculty and Caring Campus for staff have 2 different sets of behavioral commitments. Because for faculty, of course, we're talking about a classroom environment, and for staff, we're talking more about the interactional environment, more on an administrative level, or the sort of getting around the campus and navigating the college. Hannah, what was your experience like?
Thank you again. When I started, whenever I was about to start, I was kind of like already feeling very confident about my knowledge based off of what was shared with me by my team members at SMC. And I wasn't doubtful, of course, but I was kind of like, I know what's going on here. This is just gonna be like supplemental. And it ended up being more than that. I think like what was already shared, it was an opportunity to kind of get a deeper dive since we focused on only 1 or 2 of the behavioral commitments at a time. And it was a great opportunity just to share what our campus was doing for each one, like if maybe on not every session I didn't get new information for myself, but I was able to provide, in the small group specifically, because we would break out into small groups, which I enjoyed, because then I was able to, have kind of more like direct chats with folks, provide some guidance or suggestions for how people could go about things. So yeah, I really liked that collaboration spirit of the cohort.
Nice. And for you too, your cohort was made up of folks from a bunch of different schools?
Yes, and some schools had multiple people, sometimes I would go in breakout sessions where everyone was from the same school except for me. So that was just kind of fun to see how other people were going about things and to compare and contrast to what other schools were doing.
Yeah, I found it interesting as a facilitator last year. Some schools would send groups of people, and sometimes it was just 1 or 2 individuals. We have a university this time around for the academies that are starting at the end of this month, is sending almost 30 people. So there's going to be a large group, but we have a lot of institutions represented this time around too, and there's still time for folks to sign up. So we're hoping that we'll see more. So Hannah, what was your biggest takeaway from the entire course?
Um, I think my biggest takeaway, um, just from Caring Campus in general, the course and knowing about Caring Campus is just like maximum communication is the best, wearing your name tag, like the 10 feet rule, saying hello, like the cross campus stuff, that's all about communication and being open to that. So yeah, like the more information, the better. And that's, and we can all come together to serve students by being more connected. So, which is great because, and living in a world where we've experienced, the unfortunate, COVID and that kind of changing our world forever. I really appreciate Caring Campus having connection at the center of all the behavioral commitments.
Yeah, I like that. And I appreciate your mention of COVID. During that period, we at IEBC learned an awful lot about the importance of connection and sort of retooled Caring Campus in the way we both delivered it and and coached people to implement it, specifically because of that kind of sense of isolation versus the desire for communication. Same question to you, Mary. What was your biggest takeaway?
So for me, I think it just was an affirmation of this is who I want to be as an educator. This is the experience I want each of my students to have. This is the community I want to be a part of as a campus. And honestly, as the parents of almost college age students, it's the experience I hope they have when they go to college. So it just kind of reconnects not just students with us, but us with our passions for being with students, for being at this critical stage of their life and being part of their journey. So it really just was a way to reconnect with, again, coming out of COVID, reconnect with what brings us joy and what we want to manifest on our campus.
I love it. Yeah, we got to always remember that's what we're all in it for, is for the students and for their success. And speaking of reconnecting, Mary, how did you find the academy affect your sort of integration to the Caring Campus, the existing, the Persistence Project, actually, I guess, but the existing Caring Campus implementation at Oakton?
Yeah, so Oakton kind of was an interesting case because we were involved early, our persistence project was defined in actually more limited ways than the full list of behavioral commitments that now encompass Caring Academy and so or Caring Campus. So I actually felt joy that the list of things is expanded. So, things that in some cases I'd already been doing were now official. And so that was nice to see those affirmed. But it also just helped make each of those actionable. So it's it's not just that we want this environment or experience for our students, but we have really clear ways to make that happen. And I am a self proclaimed data nerd. The data behind it is there. So it's not just that I'm taking the time to meet one-on-one with my students, but that makes a difference in their persistence semester to semester in their experience in my class. So that is time well spent. So it helps me recommit when I'm being pulled in other directions, perhaps.
Excellent, excellent. And I will absolutely endorse that statement that the data is there. Oakton in particular has been providing us with some outstanding evaluations of the way the program has improved student success over the years since the beginning of their implementation. And also, as I mentioned, the Caring Campus has been evolving. So what you mentioned about the new commitments, yeah, for some of the earlier schools, we only started with 3 or 4 behavioral commitments. And now for faculty, I believe we have 6, or is it 7, and staff have 6 now. Yeah, it does keep you in touch with the evolution as well. So Hannah, you also started at SMC after Caring Campus had been implemented. How did the Academy help you with your relationship with the program?
So for my specific relationship with the program, I think, like I said before, it kind of gave me that deeper dive, that refresher. But it also has helped me and us, kind of imagine what it looks like to do internal training at SMC regarding these behavioral commitments and what a workshop about them could look like or how we go about presenting. So one of our great programs, which we're starting back up this spring, we kind of had a little break in the fall because of a shift in where the epicenter was located, and there was kind of some discussion about where the epicenter, excuse me, where Caring Campus would be housed, and we decided it's still going to be under the epicenter. But we do an event called Coffee Connections, which is part of that cross-departmental awareness. And at the top of every coffee connection, we share the behavioral commitments. And so I think it's just like important to continue to, refresh and interface with this knowledge so that way we can be, when we're resharing information to colleagues who haven't been through the academy, that we're doing that in a clear and concise way.
Love it. That's awesome. Thank you. And so let's see. What what would you say to others who haven't yet been through the academy? If you wanted to encourage them to sign up, to give it a try, to go through the experience. Let's start with Hannah, please.
Yeah, I would just say it's a great opportunity to be a leader of cultural change on your campus. Especially if you don't feel like your campus has some of these things already, it's a great place to start for cultural change. Um, you know, Even one person or a small group of people implementing these behavioral commitments it's very valuable. So yeah, I would say it's, very worth your time, and also it's great, like a great opportunity just to connect with other folks from their campus and, other campuses and then expand your network.
Excellent, excellent. And what about you, Mary? What would you say to your colleagues?
I was thinking about Hannah's comment at the start of our session, how she initially was like not sure what she might take away from the session. And uh I guess I felt in some ways similar that, oh, I do a lot of these things. What do I have? You know, what do I have to gain from spending this time in this way with the multiple demands? And I would say to someone who's considering it, it's worth your time. So it has that community aspect where you get to connect with fellow educators and other people and hear their struggles and their solutions and brainstorm together how you can bring these practices. And you will leave with multiple ways that you can enact this and have enacted that live that semester. You're going to change your practice through your participation. So it's it has the data, it has the theory, but it also has the real life lived experience. So that's a helpful aspect.
Yeah, let me ask you about that lived experience, because you've mentioned that a couple of times now. And in what way was that perhaps enhanced by, being able to be exposed to people from other campuses during the academy?
Um, I think in some ways it just makes us feel less alone, right? So if you're feeling that you're struggling with something, or gosh, I wish I was able to, have a higher pass rate or connect with more students. I wish everybody came to visit me for the one-on-ones. Um, to know that other folks are struggling with that same approach, and maybe they have an idea that you hadn't considered. So that I feel like is really helpful. Also, I think as instructors, we have so few opportunities to really talk about our practice. And so carving out that time and space for educators to talk about their work with students is really an enriching time that reaps lots of benefits.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Hannah, I just I don't know if I'm necessarily going to ask you directly about this, but I do want to acknowledge that Santa Monica's students have been radically affected by the Palisades fire, and so we want to make sure that that folks are aware that that is not over yet, frankly, and has a lasting effect on students. And this is one of the reasons that we believe Caring Campus is so important, because it provides the kind of connection community that both of you have been talking about. And that becomes even more important when students are facing some form of distress or trouble, or even just small obstacles. But to know that the school has their back really is tremendously important. Yeah, so I just wanted to
Yeah,
make sure
if
that
I
that was,
could just
yeah.
like thank you for acknowledging that. I really appreciate it. I know that Caring Campus is about we're about serving students, and that's the number one goal, but I would just like to add that this is very helpful for connecting with my colleagues too. And, we had a, devastating thing happen in October, like some on-campus violence happened in October, so that was really difficult, and then the fires in January, and it's been really tough. So, reaching out to your colleagues and saying hello when they're 10 feet away too, and, being aware of the services on campus, it helps us help each other, and then we're better off to help the students. So, I'm really grateful for this kind of framework, to continue my work here at the college.
Awesome. Yeah, the data supports exactly that Caring Campus also improves morale and connection among the employees at an institution, but it's really wonderful to hear, how that really looks on the ground. I got to say, I was coaching a school in Texas a year ago, and after they had been through the behavioral commitments, I was there early one morning when no other students were there, and everybody like 10-foot ruled me. As I was walking on my way to the place where I was doing my presentation, I must have been greeted with a smile and a good morning, a good Texas greeting, probably 10 times from the parking lot. And even though I know what's going on, right? I'm part of this. It really, even for me, it brightened my day and made me really feel like I was welcomed on that campus. It's great. And, it goes from small things to large things. So let me, with that, ask, do you have any other thoughts that you'd like to share more generally about the Academy before we get into our Q&As?
I guess I would just like to share, his name is slipping my mind, but I do just want to say that the guy who ran my Caring Campus Academy facilitated was excellent and delightful.
Excellent. Was that Jordan?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Mary?
Yeah, our facilitator was Jordan too, and I remember I think it was the first session, he shared that he was part of a really famous study on dare, and I was completely impressed that the facilitator in front of me talking about data is author of one of the most famous studies. So that was really, really neat. The thing that maybe I feel like I haven't stressed yet enough is just how much it comes to pervade the culture. So even folks that maybe didn't directly go through the academy, or I'm faculty rather than staff, so my commitments are different, but it just creates this culture where you see a student, you want to walk them to their class when they aren't sure of the way, and strike up a conversation with them and ask them how they came to be at Oakton and what classes they're taking. So it just really shifts the culture and shifts the working experience for those folks who are engaged in it.
Awesome. I love hearing that. And I think that sort of vindicates our principle at Caring Campus that the culture shift can happen with a basis of just a handful of relatively small behavior changes, right? It doesn't take a lot to change the way that the entire institution interacts with everyone who's involved on that at that institution, whether it's students, faculty, staff, administrators, everybody. So yeah, I'm glad to hear all of that. Thank you so much. Um, uh, Natalie, can you see the Q&As? I can't see that with my PowerPoint up. Do we have any questions? Now would be the time for folks to enter those in the Q&A section. Oops. Yeah, Natalie or Janet, can you see the Q&As?
I don't see any Q&As.
Oh,
Oh, wait, no, I see one. Okay. Deadline. They're asking about the deadline to sign up for the spring.
deadline to sign up for the spring is the day before. So I believe the first session starts on February 26th. So that means up until the 25th, you can sign up. I will make sure that everyone who has attended today gets a set of links that take you there. And, speaking of deadlines, actually, let me mention a couple other things before we get too far into our other Q&As. But yeah, by February 25th would be your deadline to sign up for the Academy. We have another deadline coming up, which is March 1st. You may know that once a college or university has completed their Caring Campus coaching with us, they are now a member, they immediately become a member of what we call the Caring Campus Network, which is another of our new support programs that we started last year. Membership in the network brings with it a bunch of different benefits, including a searchable database of items, documents, images, etc., that programs have created all across the country for their programs, so that you don't have to start from scratch with a new idea, or so that you can get new ideas about how to do things like incorporating Caring Campus into your strategic plan, or what a custom logo might look like, etc. So the 2024 memberships, we got off to a late start for renewals. So the renewal deadline for that has been extended to March 1st. So you may want to find out on your campus what the plans are for maintaining membership. Along with that comes things like discounts to our conference, our annual conference, which the first one will be this year in November in San Diego. So registration discounts there. Webinars like this are in the future going to be $99 for attendees, unless you're coming from a member school, in which case you can still attend for free. And there are a couple other benefits as well. I can get you the link. I will get you the link for that information as well when we're done here. And then finally, I did mention the conference, excuse me, and we are really, really excited to be hosting our first annual Caring Campus Conference. Again, San Diego, November 12th to 14th. And again, member institutions, their folks will get registration discounts for attending, for signups. And we will have we're inviting all kinds of speakers from all of our member institutions to share innovations, how you've gotten through different kinds of challenges, with the idea that we're not just making presentations, we're not just giving lectures to our colleagues, but instead we're expecting every presentation to come with something actionable that participants can take away and get to work on right away as soon as they get back from the conference. It's going to be a really exciting event. For those of you who are familiar with the research on sense of belonging for students, our keynote speakers are going to be Vincent Tinto, who is essentially the grandfather of that research, and Peter Felton, who is another big name in the sense of belonging area. We are so privileged to be able to have both of them to be keynoting at our conference this fall. So keep your eyes open for more announcements about that.
Do you mind saying the dates one more time? So sorry.
Yeah, no problem. That's November 12th
Okay.
to 14
Okay.
this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's I'll get you the link for that one too. So I'll make sure everybody gets this set of links as soon as we're done. It's going to be at I believe it's the Hilton in San Diego, and it should be a wonderful time, especially November in San Diego is a great time to visit that town too. Okay, so with that, I'm glad you guys can see the Q&A. I don't know what's going on with my thing, but are there any other questions that have come up?
There's none in the queue from what I can see.
Okay. And I don't see anything. I can see the chat, but I don't see anything in there. Let's give it a moment. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention one of the really important benefits of membership in the Caring Campus Network is that member institutions are eligible to become officially recognized certified caring campuses, which is another new support program that we've just begun at the beginning of this year. Applications are open for, I think, through April or May. I'll get you that information as well. But certification comes through an application that's a lot like an accreditation self-study. It's not that deep, but ask questions about what we believe are important facets of a sustainable caring campus program, with request for evidence about how far you've gone on that. And then based on your application, you'll be eligible to earn either bronze, silver, or gold level certification as an official certified caring campus. Again, that's very exciting. We've already started receiving applications, and we'll be announcing all of the gold certifications in an awards ceremony at the conference in November. But anyone who earns any form of certification will get notified as soon as that happens. They'll receive a plaque to commemorate that, and will have access to digital badges that can be shared on websites, media, etc. As well, to celebrate that. So just another way to help support our caring campuses across the country. We're in over 150 colleges and universities now, and growing kind of by leaps and bounds. It's a tremendously exciting time, and we are so glad to have all of these folks who really are making it happen. Right, it comes from us as leaders, but everybody gets to lead as a part of this. It's always a community effort. It's more grassroots than top down. And, that's the joy of it. It's about communication and community, as we've said a couple of times. So let me ask again, Mary and Hannah, if you have anything else you'd like to add. Mary? Oh, go ahead, Hannah.
I was say, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just would underscore that it's been a positive experience, and I would recommend it to folks. It's worthwhile.
Okay. I will say, let me go to, oh, this was the questions. Right, I have the logos for the three programs here, Academy Network and the conference. I will say that my contact information is included here. That's the QR code is my digital business card. It's basically got the same information as well as my LinkedIn. So everybody can please feel free to reach out to me or any one of our staff. If you have any questions, need any kind of information, excuse me, whether it's for support or, small or large, we're here for you. Once the coaching is done, we don't just walk away. We're part of the Caring Campus family, if you will, and we stay connected with everyone who is connected for essentially forever. And that's part of our commitment to the institutions that have made this commitment to their students. So with that, I'll call one more time for any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, or compliments. And I'll also make sure there's, this particular PowerPoint doesn't have a whole lot of information in it, but I'll make sure you get the PDF of it for everyone who came as well today, so that you can have the information that's there. Well, there's the Q&A. Okay. How does someone get started with Caring Campus? That is a good question. Yeah, if your college or university has not actually been through the program yet, then what you want to do is contact either myself or one of our other staff to let us know you're interested, and we will open the conversation about how the program works, what it might look like at because it's always customized at your individual college or university, and talk about logistics and those kinds of things. But it's not a formal process. All you got to do is ask. Anything else? Oh, I see. Does college have to be part of Caring Campus before doing the academy? Oh yeah, Natalie answered that. Yes. If you want to send people to the academy, you have to have Caring Campus already in place so that those folks in the academy are landing in the in a culture that is aligned with what they've just learned, rather than being little islands sort of unto themselves, trying to spread it on their own on the fly. All righty. Well,
One other question just popped up.
yeah. In the chat?
Yeah. What is the cost per attendee, and is there a discount for network members?
So right now, since the network membership renewal deadline has been extended, everybody who's been through Caring Campus is still a 2024 network member right now. So up through this particular academy, everyone will get the discounted rate. It depends on the size of your college, but it's between $250 to $400 per person. And again, I'll get you that link as soon as we're done here so that you can investigate dates, times, and more details. Ooh, it's raining. Sorry, I live on the edge of the desert. It never rains out here. All right. Well, I will thank everybody for joining us today. I really hope you found this useful and informational. I encourage everybody to spread the word, please. Our vision and mission here at IEBC is really just to try and get Caring Campus into the culture of the whole country's system of higher education. It is a proven way to improve student success. And so we want to help as many students as possible by getting to as many colleges and universities as possible. So please feel free to spread the word. And again, if you have any questions or need any other information, feel free to contact me. I'm available at this contact information pretty much all the time. I can't always answer the phone because I have small kids and I work from home, but you can always text me at that number as well. Yeah, that's somebody needing to be picked up. You can text me at that number and I will always get back to you as quickly as I can. Once again, thank you all so much for your time, for your attention. And thank you again to Mary and Hannah for joining us and sharing your experiences. I really appreciate you being here, and hope to talk to you again soon. And with that, we will call it a day.